Hi friends, first of all, happy Republic Day to everyone, and thanks Puneet for giving me this opportunity. And I was trying to get some public kind of face for a long time, and this is my first, as I told you, public appearance. Though I have a few YouTube videos, but this is one thing, first face-to-face kind of stuff, right? So thanks for giving me this opportunity, and I'll hope I will try to meet the expectations of the viewers, and let me know if there will be any question. If I could not answer right now, then I will definitely come back to you. So friends, now I'm covering a very niche business or micro cap company, that is Energy Green India Limited.
So Kamal, you can come closer to the mic or maybe speak a little bit loudly. Little bit, I think voice is little low.
Okay, is it okay, Puneet, now?
Yeah, it is much better now.
Okay, I think my mic was on a lower voice.
Yeah, please come closer to the mic. Okay, yeah, you can start.
So okay, disclosure. First of all, I'm an individual investor, so this is not any buy or sell recommendation. I'm not registered with SEBI or anyone else. I'm a mutual fund distributor though, and insurance distributor as well. But it is not any buy or sell recommendation. And I'm a kind of individual investor, do my own with the help of friends or something else. So I do buy or sell according to that. So this stock is in my individual folio as well. So I'm still researching on it to increase some position in future. But yes, so the sources I've used is the company website, presentations, and other documents. I have also read one Warmer research report and a few websites as well, used screener and management interviews that the company has given. So there is a very little information about that. So we'll go ahead and so we'll present accordingly, right? So this is regarding something that I put in general, right? So first of all, it is when I'm talking about RE, I'm just covering solar as well as wind sector only. I'm not covering any hydrogen or nuclear power because that is a long way to go. I'm not talking about any thermal power, something else. I'm just comparing a bit of solar as well as wind, but I will mainly concentrate only on wind because this is a casting company making the equipments or casting equipments for the wind. So now you must be hearing a lot of wind and solar here and there, renewal. Now Modi ji has kind of put a 1 crore solar panels kind of stuff. So and everyone is buying solar. Something comes up for wind and everyone goes for buy loans, KPI group, something like that. So first of all, we need to understand why solar and why wind and what is the difference between both. So where wind is preferred because it needs a very less land requirement, but it need a specific land, specific terrain to install the wind terrains. In solar, so it requires 10x of the land required by wind. So wind, you just need to install one turbine. For solar, you need to have a lot of panels to generate that kind of wind, that kind of the power. And wind equipments, all the wind equipments, because they are made of iron, SG, cast iron, right? So they are all recyclable after a span of 20-25 years. And so you can recover at least the initial cost, considering the inflation, considering the prices going up for iron and all the stuff, right? But the solar panels, they are made of silicon, micro silicon, they are non-recyclable. Wind price per unit is lesser as compared to solar, and solar is now these days almost at par, but maybe a bit more than wind power per unit. And as far as the plant load factor is concerned, onshore wind is onshore means where you require it, right? So say you are staying in, I'm from Pune, I'm staying in Pune. I put a wind power here, wind power machine here. So it is 30 to 40% plant load factor. And for offshore, which we basically put on the where we generate the wind power from artificial, not from the artificial means from the outsourced resources, which we later on store and transmit to the faraway places. Basically, these are placed at the seashore where the force of the wind generate automatic force of the wind generate the power, because the power of the wind is much more there near the seashores. We know that, right? So offshore plant load factor is 50%, and the for solar it is only 10%. So that's why wind power is generating much more power than the solar. So this is just a basic prep so that we can know what is wind and why solar these days, right? So just yeah. So now let's go to the global industry dynamics. What is going on regarding the wind installations. So this is the overall graph for the last, you can say 2001 to 2022. Now we have total installation of 906 gigawatts all over the world, and where China is actually accounting for 40 to 50% of the wind generation turbines, right? So the development of, you can say, most of the winds are being deployed in China. So then comes Germany, US, these countries, and Netherlands. And this is the graph for the last 5 years. Last year, 2022, due to raw material escalations and inflation, so there were less installations as compared to 2021. So otherwise, the target for the next 4 to 5 years by 2027 is to reach the target of 160 gigawatts at the CAGR of 15%. So, so this is the next 4 to 5 years target, expecting around 160 gigawatts of installation by 2027. So what is SGIL doing? Synergy Green? They are mainly into the casting. So we know there are like wind tower, then there is a hub, there are blades, and there is a, you can say, bulb behind that hub, right? They make that bulb actually. That is called the frame of the casting. That is the main thing which generates the wind. Which generates the power. So now the actual total global current casting demand is 110 million ton annum, which is led by actually 32% by the automobile industry. The wind power is actually consuming only the large casting, which actually Synergy Green is making, is 10%, and the wind industry is contributing only 1%, which we are expecting to double in the next 5 years by 2027, 2028. That is 2 million tons of the large casting, because ultimately the wind turbine sizes are growing, so the castings will also grow. So this is the general 1 gigawatt of the project of the casting requirement is approximately 15,000 tons. As the size of the wind machine will grow from 2 megawatt to 3.5 megawatts, the total casting requirement will also come down to 12,000 to 13,000, because we know ultimately the economies of scale come into the picture. So the major expenses which we don't know is going towards the actually manufacturing cost is only 30 to 40%, and the rest is on 30 to 40% actually goes towards the energy storage. Energy storage is basically more costlier than the generation, right? So energy storage is more than anything else. Then rest goes towards the transmission of the power from the base resource. So what is our Bharat's current wind installation and regulation, which is main thing. So Indian wind installations after 2016, when the wind installations were going on, we had the reversible purchase auction scheme. Actually, where what is the forward auction that we see even in the films? एक घर बेच रहे होते हैं, तो when we sell one home, and the bidders come and or we may be selling some antique pieces where the bidders come and raise their pricing. So that is called the forward auctions, right? In the reverse auction, it happens oppositely. It was open. So if Suzlon comes, they say, I will bid for 5 rupees per unit, and then another company, buy company comes and they say, I will sell for 4 units, 3 units. So ultimately, now the wind companies have to work. They started going to the bankruptcy. Now this government comes, they told you purchase, you just produce the wind, we will take care of all your problems. There were no payments from discoms. There were transmission problems, right? These were the problems. Now the government scrapped the reverse bidding option. Now they have come up with the closed envelope auctions, which the other bidder doesn't know. Say Puneet is offering one price and Kamal is offering another price, right? So nobody knows what Puneet has offered and Kamal has offered. So now the renewable purchase agreement, basically, which is obligation, we can say, which the government has now uh, which the government has now put in place, which is like the discoms will buy, or the government agencies will buy 8 gigawatt of the renewable power, basically solar and wind, from the generators. So that has made an obligation, and the discoms are mandated to release the payments on time. So can you please go on mute? So there will not be any working capital problem for the companies, wind companies. So their manufacturing, their production will go on time. So transmission issues are also resolved by the government. Now they will directly feed into the grid with one grid solution. Right? So all these problems are taken care by the government now, and these companies have started. You can say are turning around and going into the profit. They are reducing their debts. Working capital issues are solved. So the path ahead is looking very smooth. But again, there are always the regulatory risks, right? So our position in the casting. So Bharat is the second largest casting producer in the world. So we are net positive, trade positive. So our exports were around 1.6 lakh crore rupees INR. Exports were $2.9 billion, imports were 1.2 billion, and we were trade surplus of $1.7 billion. So India has, I told earlier, India has only 10% of the global market share right now, but China is still having 40% of the market share. That provides us huge opportunity with China plus one to take some share of China. Even if we take 5% of the share from China in the casting, that is a huge opportunity for Indian casting company. Basically, now see why China is being preferred by the Indian companies earlier also. China, because of their low production rates. Now US has put a place 27% of the 27% tariffs on the Chinese imports, which basically China is 20 to 25% lower rate production than India, right? So they are putting India at par with China now. So that difference is gone. Same happened with Indian companies. Now they have, with the anti-import duties and 12%, there is one more duty that has been put on by China itself. Sorry, 12% was the approximately, you can say, logistics cost, right? So now they have only 2 to 3% of the margins with Indian companies. So the good producers will not go to China because they have the other features also, other benefits, having the company in India and better productions, better quality as well, right? Now, see, this is the target right now for the green energy. The wind energy we have right now is approximately 40 gigawatts of the 110 gigawatt we have the capacity right now. By 2025, it is expected to be 160. I don't remember the exact, it is 2025 or 2026. So by 2030, we have ambitious target of 500 gigawatt of the green energy. Out of that, 160 will be the wind energy. So now see, if we are rising 4 times in the wind industry itself in the country, so that is providing huge opportunity, being it is the largest producer. Energy Green is the largest producer in India for the wind casting. I will come to the competitors later on, I'll tell you. So what excites me more is the India has a huge coastline. So that provides a very good offshore, you can say, visibility. So India has a 7,500. India is blessed with 7,500 kilometers of the coastline, which is actually having the potential to generate 700 gigawatts of the power, which is the actually, if we go and we are targeting 2070 as even Ganesh represented, right, to go 100% green, right, net zero. So that in future even these kind of opportunity for all the wind companies, not only for SGL, which I'm going to talk, right? So provides huge opportunity for all the wind companies. So let's go to the next slide. So now come to SGIL. SGIL is SGIL actually started in 2011. Then the commercial production in the casting started in the casting in general in 2012. In 2013, they came into the basically wind, gearbox, mining, and other casting productions. In 2015, there was a kind of turnaround for this company. Then they won Siemens Gamesa business for the wind productions. Siemens Gamesa is the largest OEM producer in India, and one of the top 5 in the world, right? In 2016, actually, what they got is a kind of a, they never expected, is a Vestas wind business. That is world's largest OEM. Now there are two OEMs, one is the Goldwind and one is Vestas, which you can say keep on switching as top. Goldwind is China, they will not ever import from India, but the Vestas is, you can say, is the second most, and is the topmost right now. In 2017, they crossed 10,000 tons per annum annual production. 2018, they got listed in the stock exchange, and 2019, 30,000 tons per annum, and 2030, 23, 24, they are going to take their scale to 45,000. Now, though I have explained, it is a state-of-art world-class foundry. They are the largest automated fast-food molding line in the large castings. See, we see the other companies, they are either the large producer or small scales, right? Low volumes or large volumes, or small volumes or large castings, right? But their quality is not that good also. So this is the automated pass-through large castings and large volumes, which give them the edge actually. That they are the only company in India. They have no competitor in that. So they belong to the 3000 flagship Shirgaonkar group. We might have heard about the company Ugar Sugar, right? So they are the promoters. Shirgaonkar brothers are the promoters of Sachin and Shishir Shirgaonkar, and other family members are the part of that Shirgaonkar group. So SJL as a part of them, Mr. V. Srinivas Reddy, V.S. Reddy, he is the main person behind this, who worked in L&T Foundry division for 30 years, and also has done executive MBA from IIM Ahmedabad and mechanical engineer. Came with them to found this company SJL. So business is largest fast loop molding line in the country for large castings, and they can deliver up to 3 million ton to 3 ton to 30,000 ton weight range at one go. So which can deliver consistent quality and high productivity thing. And that they are having one FNB, Furan Novik sand system with 90% reclamation. So this is a technical term. So though I have tried to figure it out, they have high hot strength and excellent shakeout. Shakeout means when the molten metal fell down on the you can say castings, they shake out. They can actually tolerate up to 18,000 ton of that molten metal, which is no other company has that kind of shakeout properties in India. So they have product range of bulk range castings. Current capacity 30,000 tons per annum. Product they are not only into the wind but also into the mining pumps and plastic injection. Though their 70 to 80% of the business comes from the wind and the gearbox. So we can see. So as I've already told you, they are out of the top 10 world OEMs. They have 3 already on the board. One is Vestas, one is Siemens Gamesa, and one is GE Power. Other are on the Nordex. There are others, Senvion, Adani, and Letwin, but they are also in talks with Nordex as well as Envision. Envision is also a Chinese company, but they are OEM only, but they don't have their own casting manufacturing, and they are also in talks, and they're likely to win because they have now said into the public. I think they are almost done with that. So if they win these Nordex and Envision, so they will be having top 5 of the top 10 OEMs that the wind turbine manufacturers on their board. So again, in the gearbox, they have ZF and Siemens, again the top 2 out of the top 10. Mining, they have Terex out of the top 10. So in pumps, they are only into the only tied up with the Indian manufacturer, and even in the plastic injection, Milacron is the one of the topmost, you can say, Indian manufacturer. So these are the four revenue streams. As I told, they are into the mainly into the wind. So even the gearboxes make for the wind industry and also for the automobile, but mainly into the wind. So they're 80 to 70 to 85% of the business. So let's talk about the wind generation first. They have the auctions, 8 gigawatt, as I talked earlier. Then now every corporate, like a few days back, Jindal Stainless and many other companies, now they are going KPR mills, we can say they're installing their own solar or wind generation capacities, right? So going for uh, annual demand of 4 to 5 gigawatts, then wind turbine exports, OEM exports, casting exports. So, but their major revenues contributed by domestic wind orders. So, wind domestic, we can say the revenue streams going forward. So, plastic injection as well as non-wind product is only 75. That is approximately, you can see right now, 20% of their total revenues. So this is the future expansion plans. Presently, they have around 12 to 13% of the EBITDA margin. So currently, 30,000 ton per annum capacity. By FY24, they are expecting to have a 45,000 tons capacity going live. Now they are currently having 150 crores of the capex going on. One is for 50 crores of the foundry that I talked about to raise from 30,000 to 45,000 crores, and then in-house machining. So now they are sending for the machining part, they are sending outsourcing it actually. So for the third, now they are also setting up the machining part. See, one is the casting. When we do the casting, the parts are rough basically, right? For machining, they have to send it outsource. They have to outsource it, right? So now they are making an in-house machining. They are optimizing their in-house machining capacity with 70 crores of the capex, and they're also setting up their own renewable captive power. They are setting it as a solar power because of the less land and offshore winds, right? So so now when they do that, actually, both of them, they're saying they can have approximately 4 to 6% of the margin expansion. So they are guiding approximately to 15 to 17, 16 to 70% of the margins going ahead. But let's see how they fare on that front, actually. So now coming to the financials. So 1920, 2021, we know what happened. So 2021, they had a good jump, and 2023 and 2022 were almost flat years because of the raw material. Even we saw in the global wind installations, there was a huge drop in the wind installations. So Vestas, which is their main customer actually, it didn't install any machine that year because of the raw material and inflation costs. So their 30 to 40% of the revenue comes from, I think, approximately from that. But to make up that revenue, they onboarded GE and Sanvin that year, so that their revenue and profitability was not impacted. So it was same. It was one. EPS was one. I forgot to mention here, right? So this year it is they are targeting approximately 340 years, and they are on track for that. In the next years, when the new capacity will go live, it will be revenue will be, they are targeting is 444 as per their calls and from the research reports. And operating margin currently it is around 12 to 13%. Though they have mentioned it can go up to 15 to 16%, but I'm going conservative, so it will be around 14%. So EBITDA should be around 60 crores, and currently PAT should be around 11 to 12 crores this year, and going conservative again with depreciation, current depreciation, and you can say interest cost, just extrapolating it, 15 to 16 crores. And current, when I started this slide again, the market price was 320. Puneet knows about it, but now it is approximately, it went up to 380, then it is now, it is again up to 360, 365, I think, adjusted its price. So it is so 15, 16, then I'm looking forward P approximately 24 to 25, and seeing that actually for the currently renewable energy space, 30 to 35 next year forward is looking okay, though it is overly valued, seeing the debt and everything on the company. But yeah, everything is running like mavericks these days, right? So but yeah, okay, their current capacity is 30,000 ton, and in next year it will be 45,000 tons per annum. peak utilization is 85%. If they are able to have the peak utilization, then their revenues can grow a bit here and there as well. So what management says is they are giving a very aggressive sales growth as they have done in the past. We can see that they are saying 25 to 30% for next 2 years, but I have taken only 20 to 25%. So their current order book is around 350 crores. So by achieving 100,000 tons per annum, they want to be one of the global leaders by having 5% of the global share. And they can do that, the kind of capability they are showing. And if they are able to do that by 2027 or even 2028, right, they will be able to generate, if we go with a 70% capacity, they can do up to 1200, 1300 revenue. And if we go with the peak capacity, then as per the demand, they can even generate up to 1400 crores revenue. So if we extrapolate it, then they can generate actually, then they can, you can just multiply it by 4 here, then they can generate an EPS of around 35 to 40. And if we give a conservative even P of 25, as per the peers, they are running at 35 exit P, then I'm just guessing it, they can easily achieve a 1,000 rupees CMP. But other factors should play on also. But this is just my observation. I'm not kind of Jyotshi kind of astrologer. Source of funds, they are saying they are cash generating from the current. They have shown as a free cash flow of 15 crores as per their talks also. They are going to do it by 1/3 of the internal accruals and 2/3 from the term loans. And they will keep on paying the term loans from the cash flow. And currently their debt to equity is 1.8, which is good for infrastructure companies. And they are targeting to keep it lower than 2, and they are saying it 1.7 to 1.8 in future also. So nothing comes without the risks, right? Let's see the competitors first. First of all, they are the only company with the fully automated large molding machines with the fast food technology, and only company with the TPG certification. That's why they are winning the high value customers in the world, right? Which is considered to be very prestigious in this area. Other competitors are SE Force. SE Force is the captive of Suzlon. They are only producing it for Suzlon. They are located in SEZ, right? They don't have that kind of quality as well. As I have heard, I don't know. If they have to compete with SGIL, they have to pay 8% extra custom duty, so which will not be the viable for the customers. Other is better or better, I don't know the exact spelling, I could not find it, but is kind of that company. They are actually it was a captive of earlier Vestas, but now Germanors have taken over it. They are still kind of captive to Vestas. They are supplying 85 to 90% of their supply for Vestas. The question will arise, if they are supplying 85 to 90% of their supply to Vestas, that can hurt SGL. So if we see, that is the current arrangement and that will be the future arrangement. And Vestas is such a huge company. They have 5 OEMs basically manufacturing facilities all over the world, 5 countries, many facilities, right? So they need huge amount of kind of casting. So mainly there are other customers also, and they also want to de-risk their cancer supply as well, right? Risks and antithesis. So as we talked earlier, there are 3 promoters, and 74% is the including Srinivas and other directors. Basically 70% of the shareholding is with the directors, 6% with the DIS or FIS, and the rest of the 20% is with the public. They have 1.4 crores of the shares subscribed right now. So you can see only 20 lakhs with the public right now. So key person is V. Srinivas Reddy, executive director, who has earlier worked with L&T Foundry division for 30 years before starting with SGIL, is the main person. This risk is very low, but actually this is the person behind SGIL, everything, right? So he's, whenever you hear the management interviews, wherever, he's the only person who is representing SGIL. Then raw material prices and inflation, we saw Vestas stop their demand. So that is the risk always there, because this is very cost intensive, and the raw material prices are coming down. So the business is growing, but that risk and will always be there. Then geopolitical issues, economic slowdown. Now we see the geopolitical issues now on the Red Sea issues, right? That is currently emerged. Nobody knew in December. It kind of bolt from the blue. It has come up, and nobody knows how much it will long. But US has now stepped in. So these kind of risks will be there. Then wars happening in the many parts of the world. So nobody can avoid these. Then government regulations, as we say, this government has solved the regulation problems, and tomorrow the government changes, other government comes up with another regulation. So these kind of risks will be there, and it may be the opportunities as well, right? Tomorrow they will raise the base prices. So nobody knows about these things. These are the unknown risks, right? Then the main problem is the kind of on the forensic side is they have leveraged balance sheet, as I talked about. They have debt on them on their balance sheet, and they have 80 crores of the debt right now. They are planning to pay 25 crores by 2025, and long-term debt mainly, and 30 crores I think is for their working capital requirements. Disputed, they have 1 crore of the disputed receivables, which is good amount for a small company. But if they keep generating a good cash flow, then that may also diminish. Then volatile business operations, we have coupled with the higher related party transactions. Earlier, they have taken some loans from Shirgaonkar Group, and they are paying back them. So these are related party transactions. Transactions are always dubious. Yeah, but so these are some kind of discomforts which I see. But the company is growing. In micro cap companies, I've read a lot of companies. I found these risks are very common now, except few companies which are totally debt free and they are running the business smoothly. But then the kind of leverage, operating leverage, do not play in them. But yeah, these kind of the risks are there, and if you want to invest, we have to see on all these fronts and take the position accordingly as per our own comfort. And that's all from my side. Thank you, Puneet, and thank you everyone for listening to me for the first time.
Yeah, very good presentation, Kamalji. So it definitely gives a good insight into a company which I think many people will not be aware of in the audience. I know some people would have known it, but I think mostly people would not be aware. So we have one question is regarding what is the net debt of the company? If you know that, you can answer.
Net debt is right now approximately, I think, 80 crores. Right, I took that data. Yeah. So approximately 30 crores they are for the working capital, but they were saying, and 45 crores for the term loans actually. Right. So they are planning to reduce these term loans, but obviously they will keep taking as well the term loans for the next capex. That was the target. Let me check again on the screener as well, because it took that from data.
That is, I think, the approximately right number, around 70 to 80 crores.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another question, I think Raj has a question. Raj, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Kamal.
Okay. So I think Raj has put up that, but Raj, you can unmute yourself.
So one question is 150 crore capex plan over what period? It's next 2 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, they have very old data. Presentations are also old. AR is 2023. So when the next last year actually. So when this year will come to know more. Don't have very less information about this company.
No, this is amazing company actually.
Yeah. I'm very interested. I am keeping track of it very closely, and I keep on buying whenever the price drops actually.
So Himanshu, it's over 2 years what Kamalji has said for the capex plan. Yeah, Ankit, what is your question? Okay, any plans on management transition from Srinivasa?
My question is, what is the borrowing cost? What is the financing cost over there? The debt which they have, what is the finance cost?
That even I don't know. I tried to find it. So I will find it and come. I'll reply to Puneet. Right. So I think if there will be something in the rating updates, I'll try to find out. Even and that is a good question. That will be good insight from myself, for me as well.
Yeah. So one of the key risks I think you have already highlighted, and what Yogesh is also asking is any plans of management transition from Srinivasan. So we'll come to know only Yogesh with time only. Currently, it doesn't seem to be any other person who can come and take over Srinivasan at this point of time.
There is no, but I think Prabha Kulkarni is one who is being, I think, trained and who is also taking. But I don't think so. Srinivas is a different person altogether. These
Yeah.
kind of persons are very rarely, you can replace very rarely. Yeah, he is 30 years are already spent in L&T Foundry division. He knows in and out of Foundry, right? So let's see.
Yeah. Another question is this company has any peers in electro steel castings or something?
Electro steel casting, no. Electro steel casting is into piping, DI piping, right? So even steel casting is into the railways.
Yeah.
Fast tube molding is only this company. Into the wind turbines and the gearbox. So wind turbine and gearbox is altogether different boxes altogether.
Yep.
So you need a niche kind of, you need a kind of a sticky business it is. If company trust you like Vestas, Siemens Gamesa or G, if they trust you, they won't paying extra 2-3% even, right? Because they know the quality, what your quality. And 3 ton to 30,000 ton single casting is a very difficult thing to make. And gearboxes, the quality, it is very difficult to replicate. Even Suzlon have their own SE4s, right? They are not competing with them.
Yeah. Next question would be, who are the top 3 players in this business? So I think already mentioned in the presentation, those are the only top 3 players. There are not many players in this industry actually. And most of the players are doing captive business. So Energy Green is the, I think, main one which can cater to the industry at this point of time. Yeah. Okay. I think thanks Kamalji once again.
Thanks
For
Puneet,
your
giving me
time,
this
effort,
opportunity.
and presenting it to the audience.
Supporting me as well. I disturb you a lot of time.
That's a issue.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Puneet.
Okay.
Thanks.